Welcome back to the Esoteric Architect. This is Alex. In our first broadcast, we dismantled the digital myths surrounding Moldavite and analyzed the cold, unyielding reality of intense cosmic catalysts. Today, we are stepping into a territory that seems much more familiar to the average person, yet remains deeply misunderstood, heavily abused, and highly volatile. We are talking about Norse runes and the ancient architecture of tarot cards. Look at the spiritual marketplace today. You will see millions of people treating these ancient, sacred systems like casual evening entertainment or a cheap psychological safety blanket. People download colorful tarot apps on their phones to check their destiny before their morning coffee. They buy mass-produced decks, draw multiple cards in the middle of a cluttered, stressful environment, and expect the universe to instantly solve their personal dilemmas. Others treat the heavy, unforgiving symbols of the Norse Futhark as mere fashion statements. They get permanent tattoos of complex runic staves, like the Vegvisir, or wear cheap silver amulets without having any real understanding of the primal laws of nature they are inviting into their personal environment. And then, a quiet, invisible degradation begins. People start noticing a slow, chronic leak of their vital energy. They wake up with an unexplained, permanent mental fog. Their focus collapses, and their daily productivity drops to zero. Their financial decisions become emotional, frantic, and chaotic. They get stuck in endless, paralyzing loops of overthinking, analyzing the exact same life situation 50 times a day through the cards, while their real, physical reality is actively falling apart around them. Just like with Moldavite, people quickly look for a magical excuse. They blame external bad luck, bad timing, or a corrupted deck of cards. But as mature, rational individuals, we must look at the true mechanics of these tools. Runes and tarot are not passive toys. They are sharp, powerful keys to the deep human subconscious and the unseen currents of nature. And if you use these keys without basic rules of spiritual hygiene and self-discipline, you will lock your own doors, short-circuit your inner strength, and completely block your own progress. Today, we are going to look behind the pop culture curtain. We will look at a documented case study from my private practice, see how these ancient systems can turn into energetic vampires, and learn the strict rules of system closeout. To understand how a sacred tool can become an invisible cage, let us look at a concrete case study from my private practice. To respect professional confidentiality, I have altered the personal identifiers, but the underlying architectural blueprint remains untouched. This is the structural breakdown of a client I will refer to as Elena. Elena was a 32-year-old independent entrepreneur who ran a highly successful boutique marketing agency. She was sharp, decisive, and highly practical. 2 years ago, following a painful emotional breakup that shook her core stability, she sought guidance and discovered tarot cards and Norse Runic staves. Initially, the cards gave her immense comfort, helping her process her grief and mapping her subconscious fears. And here is where the dangerous illusion of the first phase occurred. For the first 3 months, the practice worked beautifully. The cards gave her a strange, intoxicating sense of absolute control. She felt as though she had a cheat code for reality. But slowly, under the weight of her unresolved trauma, an unhealthy emotional codependency began to form. Elena stopped relying on her own conscious intellect. She started consulting the cards for every minor decision in her business. Before signing a new client, she would draw a card. Before hiring a senior employee, she would consult the deck. If the cards showed a minor warning symbol, she would panic, cancel strategic meetings, and redraw the cards to find a better answer. Within 6 months, she was doing up to 10 readings a day, sitting in a dark room in a state of hyper-anxiety, surrounded by open, unresolved layouts. To protect her collapsing business, she went online and found a heavy Norse runic stave for absolute protection and wealth, drew it on a piece of parchment, and placed it permanently under her office desk. The collapse happened with the absolute, blind precision of a gravitational field. Within a year, Elena's successful marketing agency went completely bankrupt. Her long-term corporate clients left because her decisions had become erratic, slow, fearful, and completely disconnected from market logic. She developed chronic insomnia, severe energetic exhaustion, and a terrifying sense of absolute isolation. She felt as though an invisible concrete wall had been built around her life, cutting off her money, her professional contacts, and her vitality. She was convinced that an enemy or a competitor had placed a dark curse upon her business. Let us perform an objective architectural autopsy on Elena's collapse. What really happened here? First, let us look at the tarot abuse. Tarot is a magnificent, highly structured mirror of the human soul, a visual map of 78 ancient archetypes that mirror our deep subconscious dynamics. When you lay out the cards, you are opening a direct dialogue with your own unconscious mind. The symbols act as keys that bypass your conscious ego. Elena's fatal error was offloading her free will onto a deck of paper. Free will is the primary engine of your personal power. The moment you refuse to make a conscious, logical choice with your own mind and wait for a symbol to decide your path, your inner core weakens. Your personal voltage drops instantly. The tool stops serving your growth and begins to dominate your psyche, locking you into a permanent state of helplessness and chronic indecision. This is why her clients left. They felt her loss of leadership and practical authority. Furthermore, Elena was leaving her sessions open. Every time you lay out the cards, you drag heavy, unconscious material into your waking mind. If you finish a reading in a state of panic or confusion and just throw the cards into a drawer without finding internal resolution or calm, that channel remains wide open. It acts as a massive, invisible leak in your energy field, silently draining your vital strength throughout the day. Now, let us look at the second part of her collapse, the runic stave. Why did she feel completely isolated and financially frozen after deploying a symbol of protection? The Elder Futhark, the ancient runic alphabet, is not a collection of pretty pictures. Runes are geometric representations of the raw, elemental forces of nature and cosmic order. They manipulate energy patterns directly, bypassing human emotions and moral justifications completely. Elena deployed a heavy protective stave without understanding its true architecture. If you activate a massive force of protection, like the rune Algiz or a symbol of raw elemental containment, while you are in a state of fear, you are erecting an impenetrable firewall around your life. But an unmanaged firewall does not just keep threats out, it completely blocks incoming traffic as well. It isolated her. It cut off the natural, healthy flow of energy, opportunities, and financial exchange with other people. Elena was not cursed by an enemy. She was literally suffocating inside her own unmanaged, automated defense systems. 6 months ago, Elena completed her integration process with me. She physically burned the runic stave, locked the tarot deck in a secure box, and spent 4 months focusing entirely on her physical body, her financial mathematics, and her conscious willpower. Today, she is working as a high-level corporate consultant. The exhaustion is gone, her eyes are sharp, and her income has stabilized. She told me recently, "I thought the cards were giving me power, but they were actually stealing my responsibility." The moment I stepped back into the driver's seat of my own mind, the invisible wall dissolved. To stop this silent energy leak and regain absolute control over your life, you must implement strict rules of inner hygiene. These ancient systems are professional instruments and they demand professional handling. First, if you work with tarot, you must treat it as a serious strategic consultation, not a casual gossip session. Never, under any circumstances, sit down with the cards when you are in a state of emotional panic, anger, or deep physical exhaustion. Limit your sessions strictly. Ask a clear, specific question, extract the objective insight, write down your practical conclusion, and explicitly close the session. Physically pack the deck, place it securely in its box, and immediately anchor your mind back into the physical world. Go clean your room, take a walk, or engage in physical exercise. This clean break snaps the background loop of your mind, locks the door to the unconscious, and grounds the information into practical action. By the way, if you are finding this structured, down-to-earth approach to ancient systems valuable, take a moment right now to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this audio broadcast with someone who values real knowledge. Your active engagement is the only resource that helps me grow the esoteric architect, cut through the noise of the algorithm, and keep delivering this deep, independent content for you. Let us build a conscious, clear-headed community together. Second, if you work with runic symbols, remember the timeless law of the old northern traditions. Never trace a rune unless you know how to read it, guide it, and safely dismantle it. Runes are specific, temporary commands. They are never meant to run forever. If you create a runic formula for focus or strength on a piece of wood, paper, or leather, you must give it a clear, explicit task and a strict deadline. You must speak aloud or write down exactly what its purpose is, how long it will assist you, and how you will deactivate it. When that specific time arrives, you must deactivate the script by destroying the physical medium, usually by burning it with genuine gratitude, returning the raw energy back to the elements of nature. Never allow old, forgotten amulets or active scripts to clutter your living space. They decay over time, turning from helpful code into chaotic spiritual noise that slowly saps your daily vitality. Let us summarize our architecture today. Runes and tarot are magnificent, premium instruments of human psychology and natural order. They are designed for deep self-mastery, strategic clarity, and structural alignment, but they are completely unsuited for casual amusement, escapism, or avoiding real-world responsibilities. If you treat them with sloppy disrespect or emotional dependency, they will act like unmanaged leaks, draining your mental battery and stalling your life. But if you approach them with technical discipline, sobriety, and clean hygiene, they become your most powerful assets for navigating reality. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt completely exhausted, foggy, or anxious after a tarot session or after wearing specific symbols? Have you noticed a pattern where your life stagnated after building too many energetic defenses? Drop your experiences and your questions in the comments below. I read every comment, and we will analyze them together in future broadcasts. Don't forget to subscribe to @esoteric.architect. Leave your comment and share this video on your social platforms. Your support keeps this channel independent, structured, and free from pop culture illusions. In our next broadcast, we are going to return to the kingdom of minerals and analyze the ultimate protective shield, labradorite. We will discuss how to use it to block emotional vampires, survive toxic environments, and stop energy drain without isolating yourself from the world. Stay grounded, keep your inner space clean, and I will see you in the next broadcast.